guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Holly. This is She Reads. Today I have got a massive book haul. In fact, I think I'm actually going to split this up into two videos because there's like about 60 books that I have acquired lately. And the best part of it all is that for all 60 books, I paid under $25. Thrift queen. So yeah, so there's about 60 books here. I don't want to do like a 45-minute video discussing all the new books that I got. So I am going to split this video up into two parts. So part one, obviously you're watching right now, and part two will be up probably in the next couple of weeks. So I'm just going to do it like down the middle and do 30 in one haul and 30 in the other. So stay tuned for part two. And without further ado, let's just get right on into the haul. So the first 35 books that I got were actually from a book sale at my library, and they are getting rid of a whole bunch of books. Definitely check this out in your guys' area. Like when libraries get rid of books, they do it extremely cheaply. There's a whole back section in my local library at my town, and all the books were 25 cents or $5 for a grocery bag. So you really cannot go wrong with that. I got 35 books for $10. I filled up 2 grocery bags, and like, to be honest with you, I was there an hour before closing. So a lot of these, I don't even remember what they are because I was just like skimming the synopsis of them and just throwing them in my bag because I didn't want to like come back the next day and take the chance that someone had gotten, you know, like gotten the good books or whatever. So I was just like throwing books into this bag, and a lot of them might even be a surprise to me what I ended up getting. And then another few books, I think about 8 of them or so, was actually given to me by my mom, and she had found a whole bunch of books that she didn't even remember that she had that were given to her that were all in like the thriller category. So they've been like sitting in our garage for forever, and we didn't even know they were there. And all of a sudden she was cleaning out her garage and she found them, and so she gave them to me. So that was an extra about 8 or so books that I got for free. And then the last 5 books I got from a local thrift shop, and they always have a sale on, like it's just always a permanent sale, where you buy 4 books and you get the 5th for free. So I did that, and I got some good deals on those ones as well. So let's just go right on into it. The first book that I got is The Omen by David Seltzer, and this one was from my local library sale. So if you have ever seen Omen movies, then you would know what this is about. But basically it says, a young nursemaid dies for the sake of little Damien. A priest is speared to death for revealing the horrifying truth about the birth of Damien. In a peaceful zoo, animals rend to themselves in bits of death, frenzy caused by the sight of Damien. For a world-renowned diplomat and his wife, accident follows accident from Rome to London to Jerusalem, as they are stalked by a terror they cannot understand, a terror that centers on their son Damien and his ominous hidden birthmark. The ultimate evil is to be released upon an unsuspecting and unprepared world because of Damien. So basically, a couple, they have a son. He's evil. He's like the devil incarnate. Very, very creepy. The next book that I picked up is Shivers, an anthology of Canadian ghost stories. So this is just a book of, like it says, Canadian ghost stories. So I'm super excited to see this one. It's not every day that I come across stuff like from Canada. So I'm actually really excited about that. Canadian ghost stories by Canadian authors. I'm not sure if they're true or what, but I think that they're true, like supposed true stories. So maybe I could send them a couple of my stories. The next book that I got is Handling the Undead by Ovid Lindquist. I'm probably definitely saying that wrong. This one looks like pretty much brand new, like it's not even been read. So that might be why they're getting rid of it. But yeah, it looks really good. So this one says, the power grid has gone crazy. Electric appliances won't stay switched off. Everyone has a blinding headache. Then the shocking news breaks. In the morgue and the cemeteries, the newly dead are waking up. What deadly price will grieving families have to pay for the chance to see their loved ones just one more time? So this one looks like it's about zombies. I'm all about that. Now we're going to talk about Ruined by Paula Morris, and this one says, welcome to New Orleans, city of voodoo and beauty, of hurricanes and hauntings. Rebecca couldn't feel more out of place in New Orleans. She's staying in a creepy house with her aunt who reads tarot cards. And at her snooty prep school, a pack of filthy rich girls treat Rebecca like she's invisible. Only gorgeous, unavailable Anton Gray gives Rebecca the time of day, but she wonders if he's got a hidden agenda. Then one night in Lafayette Cemetery, Rebecca makes a friend, sweet, mysterious Lisette. There's just one catch. Lisette is a ghost. A ghost with a deep, dark secret and a serious score to settle. As Rebecca is drawn into a web of curses and cryptic customs, she uncovers startling truth about her own history. Will Rebecca be able to right the wrongs of the past, or has everything been ruined beyond repair? The next book is The Grim Legacy by Polly Shulman, and this one sounds like pretty whimsical, and I think this is going to be really, really cute read. A lot of these books are young adult, but then we also have some that aren't, of course. So this one says, what if fairy tale magic really existed? Elizabeth has just started working as a page at the New York Circulating Material Repository, a lending library of objects, contemporary and historical, common and obscure. And secret, too, for in the repository's basement lies the Grimm Collection, a room of magical items straight from the Grimm brothers' fairy tales. But the magic mirrors and 7-league boots and other items are starting to disappear. And before she knows it, she and her fellow pages, Handsome Mark, Perfect Angeli, and Brooding Aaron are suddenly caught up in an exciting but dangerous adventure. So this one sounds like something that I don't typically read, but I think it will be really good. And I like to every once in a while read something that gets a little bit out of my comfort zone that I don't typically read. So I will definitely be looking forward to this one. So next we have another book that was turned into a movie, and this is The House at the End of the Street. This one starred Jennifer Lawrence, and I really enjoyed this movie. And it's all about, in the wake of a divorce, Alyssa and her mom leave the big city for a quiet house in the country. But the only reason they can afford to rent their new place is a lingering echo of a tragedy that happened in the house next door. It's no secret that the couple living there was brutally murdered by their own teenage daughter, who then disappeared. Learning to live with just her overworked mom is difficult, but Alyssa manages to make friends at school. She even gets to know her unusual neighbor, quiet but sweet Ryan, who still lives in the house where his sister killed his parents. Seeing him dealing with the loss of his family, Alyssa connects with Ryan, helping him to grieve for his parents and sister, Carrie Ann. But when unexplainable events begin to happen, Alyssa starts to wonder if Ryan's sister is really gone. What if Carrie Ann is hiding in the woods, waiting to strike again? A chilling secret is still hidden, waiting to be discovered in the house at the end of the street. So, the next books we are going to talk about is an entire series. I hope you guys can see this. So, like, the entire series. I'm actually missing one book. Book number 6 was not there, which is like so annoying, but I got all the rest of the books. So there is 10 of them in all. I'm just missing book 6, so I've got 9 books out of the series. And this is a series that is a little bit, once again, out of my comfort zone, not something that I would typically read. It almost kind of gives me like Harry Potter vibes from the synopsis, which I absolutely am obsessed with Harry Potter. I mean, who isn't? But I don't typically read like stuff like that other than Harry Potter. That's probably the last thing that I read like it. So, but I'm just going to read you the synopsis for the first book. I'm not going to go through and give you the synopsis for all of them because that would be a little bit excessive. So this is the Pendragon series, book 1, The Merchant of Death. And it says, Bob Pendragon is a seemingly normal 14-year-old boy. He has a family, a home, and even Marley, his beloved dog. But there is something very special about Bobby. He is going to save the world. And not just Earth as we know it. Bobby is slowly starting to realize that life in the cosmos isn't quite what he thought it was. And before he can object, he is swept off into an alternate dimension known as Denduran, a territory inhabited by strange beings, ruled by a magical tyrant, and plagued by dangerous revolution. If Bobby wants to see his family again, he's going to have to accept his role as savior, and accept it wholeheartedly, because as he is about to discover, Denduran is only the beginning. So this one actually, I mean, it sounds really good. It sounds like something I would be interested in reading. It's not something I typically read, but it does sound really good. So I really hope that I enjoy it because I've got the whole series now. So hopefully I really like it. The next book is Anne Rice, The Vampire Chronicles collection. Anne Rice is one of my favorite horror authors. She wrote my absolute favorite book of all time, The Witching Hour, and I'm obsessed with her, but I have never read her vampire series. I know, it's her most famous one. I don't know how I've never read it, but I haven't. So this book includes Interview with the Vampire Lestat, and The Queen of the Damned. And I already have The Queen of the Damned, I think, somewhere on this shelf. So I'll probably end up just getting rid of that one and just keeping this guy. Now, this is going to be like an undertaking for sure. I mean, it's 3 Anne Rice books in one. It's very small writing. And the pages are so thin. They're like almost like Bible pages. Like, you know how Bibles have those really, really thin pages? It's almost like that. So this is going to be like a project. Next is a book that I have somewhere, but I have never been able to find, and that is Stupid White Men by Michael Moore. I love Michael Moore. I'm obsessed with him. I think he is amazing. I don't know why, like, to Canadians, US politics is so interesting. Like, it's just so much more interesting than our own. And I'm always so interested in US politics. I'm not going to, like, say my beliefs or anything like that. Like, that's, no, we're a booktube channel. We're not getting into that. But I do enjoy Michael Moore's take on a lot of politics. And I love his movies and I love his books. And I do, like I said, I do have this one somewhere, but I can't find it for some reason. So I picked this one up. So in case you don't know, Michael Moore is a documentarianist. He makes documentaries. Michael Moore makes documentaries, usually about US politics. And he has some very strong opinions, of which some I agree, some I don't. But I do find his take on things to be very, very interesting. And this one is, I believe this is about the Bush administration. Yes. Yeah, George W. Bush's administration. So talks all about that and how he feels about that. I'm not sure if he's written one about Trump, but I'm sure that he has. But yeah. Moving on. The next book is a book in the Mortal Instruments series, City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I have not read anything by Cassandra Clare, but I know that these books are super, super popular. So in case I ever decide that I want to delve into them, I picked this one up. This was the only one. I think it was the only one that they had there. I might have grabbed one more by her. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, this one is it the first? I don't think this is even the first in the series. I'm not sure. So that's another thing. Like, there's so many series by her that all tie together. So if I ever do decide that I want to like get into this, I'm going to need to do some research to figure out what books, like what order to read all the books in, because I know that her series tend to combine. So I want to definitely make sure that I'm reading them in the right order. And this is just, I think, kind of an obscure book in the middle of a series. I don't know. Let me know where this falls in the comments down below. Let me know where I am to read this one. The next book is a true crime book called Brandon Prayers, The Shocking True Story of Obsession, Murder, and Little Boy Blue by Greg Olson. So, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I think it's about a murder and it's a true crime story. On a cold Christmas Eve in 1985, a Nebraskan hunter discovered a 9-year-old boy's frozen corpse clad in blue pajamas in a dark wooded area. Local investigators concluded that the boy had been left to die, and once the body proved unidentifiable, it was buried by the local Methodist church. 2 years later, the story of unknown Little Boy Blue was printed in a national magazine, and an Ohio couple asked themselves if this might be the child for whom they used to babysit. This tip led the police right to the boy's father, Eli Stutzman. Born and raised in a strict Amish community, Stutzman was always seeking the excitement of outside world. And after the highly suspicious death of his pregnant young wife in a fire, Stutzman took the opportunity to sever his ties with the Amish forever. Taking their first son, Danny, with him, he embarked on a cross-country spree of compulsive male pickups, violent orgies, drug abuse, and untold murders. Oh, that sounds super sad. I mean, it's always tough for me to read about things like this happening to a child, but I'm sure that this is going to be a very interesting story. Next, we have The Butterfly Clues by Kate Ellison. And this one says, Penelope Lowe Martin has always loved to collect beautiful things. But in the years since her brother's death, Lowe's hoarding has blossomed into a full-blown, potentially dangerous obsession. when she discovers a beautiful antique butterfly figurine and recognizes it as having been stolen from the home of a recently murdered girl known only as Sapphire, Lo becomes fixated. As she attempts to piece together the mysterious butterfly clues with the unlikely help of a street artist named Flint, Lo quickly finds herself caught up in a seedy, violent underworld, a world much closer to home than she ever imagined. Kate Ellison's debut novel is a tour de force thriller about a girl whose obsessive-compulsive collecting leads her down a dangerous path of secrets, mystery, and murder, where every clue she uncovers could be her last. Next, we have another trilogy. This one is The 13th Reality, and I got all 3 books. So once again, I'm only going to read you the synopsis of the first one because that'll just take me my whole life to read all of these synopses of all of these books in all of the series. So that would just be ridiculous. So the first one is called The Journal of Curious Letters. Once again, this is the 13th Reality series, and this is a young adult novel. What if every time you made a choice that had a significant consequence, a new alternate reality was created? Right then and there, that was what had me hooked. I did not read the rest of this. I just grabbed all 3 of these books because I'm like, that sounds good. What if those new realities were in danger? What if it fell to you to save all of the realities? Atticus Higginbottom, aka Tick, is a regular 13-year-old boy living a regular life until the day a strange letter arrives in his mailbox. Postmarked from Alaska and cryptically signed with the initials MG, the letter informs Tick that dangerous, perhaps even deadly events have been set in motion and that could result in the destruction of reality itself. MG promises to send Tick 12 riddles that will reveal that on a certain day, at a certain time, at a certain place, something extraordinary will happen. Will Tick have the courage to follow the 12 clues MG sends to him? Will he be able to solve the riddles in time? As MG warns Tick, very frightening things are coming your way. Will you join Tick and his friends on an amazing journey through the realities? What will your choice be? This one sounds really good. We're getting through them. We're almost done. We only have 4 left. So this book is called Changeling, and it is by Delia Sherman. As I watched, the pool kind of sucked itself up and swirled around and turned into an old boogie woman. She was short and onion-shaped from the layers and layers of ratty wet skirts and shawls she had on. Her nails were long and black, and her thin gray hair dripped over her head and shoulders like a string mop. She sounds terrifying. She had a round, pale face and round, muddy eyes, and a smile like a row of green knives. That, and the way she was looking at me as if I were a double-dipped chocolate ice cream cone, told me that she rode with the Wild Hunt. "Hello there, dear. You can call me Peg Prowler. I was at your changing. You were too little to remember me, but I remember you. You, if memory serves, are called Neef." My first thought was that when Estrus found out I'd been talking to Peg Prowler of the Wild Hunt, she was going to kill me, or at least put me to sleep for 100 years. My second thought was that if I could get myself out of this, she'd never have to know. Who knows what this is about, but that cover looks pretty cool. Next, we have Silver. The Final Exam is Survival by Chris Wooding. Paul is a new kid at Mordingham Boarding Academy, and he has a dark secret. Caitlin admires Paul from afar and resents that he only has eyes for Erica. Erica thinks that she and Caitlin are best friends, but she's wrong. Adam is a bully with a major chip on his shoulder. And Mark is outgrowing his old friends, but doesn't know how to make new ones. In a few short hours, none of this will matter. Without warning, a horrifying infection will spread across the school grounds, and a group of students with little in common will find themselves barricaded in a classroom, fighting for their lives. Some will live, some will die, and then it will get even worse. I did have another Cassandra Clare book in here, so I've got City of Glass, which apparently is book 3 of the Mortal Instruments series. So maybe that first one was book 1 and then this is book 3? Let me know in the comments down below because I have no idea what to be reading this series in. And the last book we are going to be talking about today is The Water Mirror. And oh, I didn't realize, look, it says book 1, so this must also be another series of some kind. I thought this was just a standalone. But this is by Kai Meyer. And it says, in Venice, magic is not unusual. Merle is apprenticed to a magic mirror maker, and Seraphin, a boy who was once a master thief, works for a weaver of magic cloth. Merle and Seraphin are used to the mermaids who live in the canals of the city, beautiful creatures with hideous mouths that split their faces from ear to ear, and to the guards who patrol the streets on living stone lions. Merle herself possesses something magical, a mirror whose surface is water. She can reach her whole arm into it and never get wet. That sounds very interesting. But Venice is under siege by the Egyptian Empire, its terrifying mummy warriors, and flying sunbarks are waiting to strike. All that protects the Venetians is the flowing queen. Nobody knows who or what she is, only that her power flows through the canals and keeps the Egyptians at bay. When Merle and Seraphin overhear a plot to capture the flowing queen, they are catapulted into desperate danger. They must do everything they can to rescue the queen and save the city, even if it means getting help from the ancient traitor himself. This one sounds like there's a lot going on. I'm not 100% sure on this one, to be completely honest with you, especially if it's a trilogy or a series. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read this one and what your thoughts on it were. Well, you guys, I am going to end this book haul here. This is going to be part 1 of the biggest book haul I've ever done. And we're going to have part 2 coming in a few weeks. So stay tuned for that. Let me know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books that I picked up. Let me know about the Cassandra Clare books, what order I'm supposed to be reading them in, because your girl ain't got any idea. And with that, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Please hit that subscribe button down below and give me a huge thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. It really helps my channel when you guys do that. Hope you guys are having an awesome day. I will see you in my next video.